What's good, everybody? What's going on, man? It's Stephen Qualls II, aka Mr. Qualified. It's your boy, and we're back with another episode of the Wright Quality Podcast, jammed packed for you all, friends, co-hosts. Of course, let the people know who you are once again.
I am Ashley Wright, the first.
Ganger.
Great album for those that haven't heard it. Miguel Brown, also the first. Spin gold takes, according to Aches. My background. Hold on. My background. Before we start, disclaimer: I am not a fan. Look directly at the camera. I am not a fan. Marquette till the day I die.
Nobody believes
produces.
Nobody believes.
Oh no, I was about to say. I thought you said Novak will diss you, which he will. Shouts out to my guy Novak. Kept me from 1,000 this summer. Will be back. But truly, yes, Marquette until the day I die. This is why my background looked so terrible last week. My girlfriend Ari, the wonderful, we all know, put me on blast. She was like, "What is your background, sir? That was terrible." And it was because of this. If you tune into your last episode, you'll see it was like, blackness and then a straight line. And it was like, what is this? What's this? I was hiding it. So here we are. Let's
Shout out to her. Where would men be without us women?
Giving me a terrible background, giving me a worse background. I'd rather have a black screen.
That's a different topic. No, so okay. We're gonna talk about the guys in green, but not you guys as guys in green, the Celtics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Show those stats up a little more.
They aren't bad. I was
they are really good stats.
So if you look at my face 2 minutes ago in the clip, I looked down in the intro. That's what I was shocked at.
Oh,
yeah, deep cut. This is like Marvel, the qualified universe.
Yeah.
Once
the Celtics are now on a 9-game winning streak. They're very hot. And the stats that you just showed us from Jason Tatum, I saw 27 points per game. He's hot too. They're riding the hot hand. So my question for you guys is, should Jason Tatum be in the MVP conversation? And is he making a good case?
He should be in the conversation for sure. As far as making a good case, I can't say that he's not. It just gets really, really tricky. Numbers are great, right? This isn't so much about the numbers. I think for me, as I've been watching the Celtics all year, thinking about how this compares to other years for Tatum, you can say that the numbers scoring wise are a bit down, sure, but he also has the best team that he's had in his career. And I think that's what makes it difficult, because it's not that we take away from Tatum because the team is so good. However, I think that if Tatum did not have this team, and even if his numbers were better, the question would be, where would the Celtics be at if they didn't have a Porzingis, or if they didn't have Drew Holiday, right? And of course, I think Porzingis is giving you about 20 a night. I know Drew isn't that high, but obviously everybody knows what Drew's impact is on the floor. But they have the best starting five in the NBA. I think the only team that might potentially be able to rival it is the Clippers, really, truly. So should he be in the conversation, or is he in the conversation? Yes. I think his case is good, but I personally don't think it's as compelling as others, because he's surrounded by so much more. And while he is leading them, I just think that he has a lot more help. And with that being the reason for the team's success, kind of tough to say his case is super compelling to me personally, but he's in the conversation.
Joe?
I was about to say the same thing. I think he should be in the MVP race, but it's a case of like, He should, but bad narrative. Like he doesn't have like every year it's a narrative to an MVP, and his isn't compelling, like you said, Qualls. Like for Giannis, his is not compelling for some because his coach got fired. For others, it's like that's like better. It's like how was he able to do how is he able to do this with these stats and then have like his third coach in a calendar year? Like he shouldn't be having a season this good. If you have what Shea, I mean the Thunder are playing phenomenal out in the West, and tonight they're gonna have a crazy game against the Spurs, which I'm gonna flip to in 20 minutes when that game starts. Uh, like Shea is balling out of his mind. Granted, he has a team that's there; they're all super young, and he is leading that ship fantastically. Jokic, I mean, defending champ and still coasting with some great stats with a team that's still performing well in the West. And then I'd say who's the other one? I'd throw Ant in there, but I think they have the Clippers. They have Kawhi up there, and everyone kind of discounted them. And his narrative is probably a little bit better than Jason Tatum's, even though his stats don't really say that. It's like that's what the narrative is. It's like he's in a bigger market with a more compelling story. So I feel like that is possibly, what gets him above Jason Tatum at this point too. So it's like it's hard. It's just the MVP race is always contentious, and you have to have the right storyline for the year. It's got to be like there's got to be something. Like Russell, it was like the triple double average. Between Giannis and Harden, it was just like the sheer dominance and like us being the best team in the NBA at the time. Like there's always like notches to be there. Granted, they have the best team. He's the best player on the best team, and I said that for Ant. It's just that are they too good for him to really be up there? Like, are these stats really that important for the team? Are they the most valuable stats out of all of them?
That's
Or
what.
is
Yeah, yeah.
Ant
Go ahead.
putting
My
up
bad.
26 a game a more valuable,
Mm,
so, like I think that's the hard part for him.
no, yeah, that's a good point. Um, I think that is kind of the difference between Jason's 27 and, like you said, if Ant is dropping 27 a night too, it's like, okay, look at what you're surrounded by. And I would say it's a similar case for Ant in terms of talent. I think the top two MVP candidates are really Jokic, or I will give three. I think it's Jokic, Luka, and Shea. I
Yep,
think
I didn't
those are
even
your
mention,
your your three contenders this year for the MVP case. And it's a lot to do with what y'all said. Like I think it just has to come down beyond stats to pure dominance. Like, I don't know if Jason is truly the guy that I will go to day in and day out if I need a bucket late. Whereas I'm not questioning if it's Luca. I'm not questioning if it's Shea. And I'm definitely not questioning if it's Jokic. But in Boston, do I want to go Porzingis? Do I want to put it in Jalen's hands and let him drive? It's like you have so many options because of how finicky Jason can be. Sometimes Jason is picking and choosing when he wants to drive, or he's settling for those fadeaway jump shots, because sometimes he likes to play pretty boy basketball. So I think that's the difference maker. And it's something that we're still seeing in this season. And we still haven't seen Jason really make that surge, although the numbers are great.
yeah, I, yeah, that's also very well said.
I'll add this. I don't want, and I don't think we're doing this. I don't want to take away from what Tatum is doing.
Yeah.
Right. So I think all the points we made about the team aspect is valid. And I think actually to your point, I think the difference in Tatum and the other players when it comes to that, I don't think the other players have a choice. Now, granted, if Luka wanted to, he could defer to Kyrie, right? And I think that's a great second option to have. But I don't think there's a question who the first option is. And it's still Luka. And for Luka to be the first option with a Kyrie, granted, mind you, Kyrie's a 10-year vet. Let's not act like Kyrie isn't established in the league, right? So with Luka and with Kyrie essentially saying Luka is this undoubted like first option here, I think that speaks volumes. Obviously, we know the impact that Jokic has on the game in general and his role with the Nuggets. Shea, there's not another player on that team who you expect to do what Shea does. You're not putting the ball. I mean,
Jalen Williams.
I was gonna say you could put the ball in J Dub hands. Don't get me wrong, but there's still levels to
At
it.
the end of the game, who is your
As much
closer?
as you
Give
trust
me
J Dub,
Andre Iguodala.
not even that. If you had to put the ball in J Dub's hand for whatever reason, I think OKC would, but there's not a question that your best bet is Shea, right? I think with Boston, while I think Tatum is probably clearly the best player, right, on the team, I think the Celtics are going to live if Jaylen Brown takes the last shot. They have in certain
Absolutely.
situations. Same with Porzingis, and it's not to knock that they're a great team. I just think when it comes down to Tatum's MVP case in particular, it gets tough. But to my original point, even with all that being said, I do think that Tatum is becoming a more complete player, and I think
Mhm.
that is the part that could potentially help the case, right? I think he still has levels to go, right? But I think I would love to see him be more of a playmaker. Like I still would like him to be the focal point. So that doesn't mean he's scoring all the points, but can we see those assists? Move up. I'm not saying he's going to always have to do more, but if he's giving you that 27, oh, stack team, okay, but he averaging 8 or 9 assists as well. That changes the narrative. That changes the
Yes.
Yeah,
conversation because
yeah,
now he's impacting even more on what the
Yeah.
is doing, not just he's scoring 27. Well, that's easy
Mhm.
for him to score 27. And
yeah.
even if you take Porzingis out and he was averaging 30, 31, is Boston the 1 seed? Are they as far ahead of the pack, the field as they are? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Or without a Drew and Tatum has more defensive responsibility now, is he still giving you the same numbers or being as efficient? So we
Mhm.
don't want to knock what Tatum's doing, but also can't ignore how well constructed their team is and how it makes it very easy for him. So as far as regular season MVP, he should be top 5 in terms of the conversation for sure. Alone off of best team, best player on best team. But I don't think he's beating out the 3 that we talked about.
Pause.
And I don't think that he has even with Giannis, because I think Giannis and him round out the 5. I don't think he has a better case than Giannis from a number standpoint and the narrative standpoint, and that's all unbiased.
I
So
think I think the what you're saying is like the impact of how you create, because 5 assists is nothing to spit at, but how
right,
you create for other teammates is important for this case. Because I feel like all of them that can score that much and are scoring that much are creating for their teammates in a different way that Jason Tatum does. Because I feel like he's
Yeah.
missing that critical playmaking aspect that all of those others have in their games, which make them
Mhm.
an even bigger threat on the offensive side and how they create for their offense.
Right. They're facilitators. No, yeah, that's a great point. That's a really great point. So shifting gears, but staying in the East, there's another surging team out there in Cleveland. They went on. Yeah, this is for you. No, they went on a really, really long winning streak too. I think what did that get up to? 10 games straight, I think.
in 10
Yep.
games, 18 out of 20, I think,
Yeah,
from
With
like
like
the top of the year.
Garland just getting back healthy.
Yeah,
just getting back healthy.
and
Donovan Mitchell
Mobley.
falling. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how deep can the Cavs go? Like, what's their ceiling out in the East? What seed do you guys think they'll be in? Let's talk more about the Cavs and kind of unpack the greatness that's happening out there in Cleveland.
Here's how I feel about the Cavs, right? So y'all remember when Donovan Mitchell was in Utah, and y'all remember when they had the 1 seed in the West, and nobody was scared. I fear that this could be a similar situation. Now, mind you, Donovan Mitchell is further in his career. I think he's better. I also think he's hungrier. So there is a difference. I'm not saying it's the exact same situation. Can he carry this particular Cavs team like to a conference finals? How far they can go, I think really depends on, yes, how far Mitchell can lead them, but it's going to depend on how this team can perform in the postseason. Will Garland take a leap, right? Will Allen be able to take his leap. Like he's having a great regular season. Don't get me wrong, but can he do that and then some in the playoffs? Right, when you're going to have to play against dominant bigs your entire road to a conference finals, to a finals, whatever the case may be. Um, they have a. I like Cleveland's team. I think they have a really good roster, and the way it's constructed fits a Donovan Mitchell led team, right? So I think it makes sense. I just don't know if they have the firepower among the elites, which right now is just Milwaukee and Boston, right? Without Embiid, it's really hard to
Mhm.
tell what Philly will be. And it's who I know Embiid wants to come back. It's just there's no telling what he looks like if he does come back for the playoffs, regardless of where Philly ends up being seated. But I don't know. It depends on their route. I think it depends on their route, what their matchups are. I think Donovan Mitchell's going to have to be spectacular, and I think the supporting cast is going to have to take the leap that we didn't see them take last year. Do I expect them to have a bit of a chip on their shoulder because of last year? Yes. But ultimately, again, depending on matchups, it just might be a really, really, really tough road. Like if you're going to draw, well, if they don't fall lower than 3, they may not draw that bad of a matchup. Um, Depending on how things, play out. But it's still kind of up in the air. I can't put my finger on it. Like they're having a great regular season. I want to respect that. Have no idea what that means come playoff time, though.
Yeah, I think it's all matchups. It's truly a crapshoot for them, I think, because I don't have enough data on them. Like I saw them fold to the Knicks last year. Or what was sorry, was that last year or was that the year
Yeah, that
before?
was
No, that
last
was
year.
last year. That
Yeah,
was last year.
yeah. I don't know. It's who you pull at this point because for me, I think the same thing. It's like I don't know if I can throw my stock behind Donovan Mitchell. I don't think he's gotten that much better from that Utah team. I think he's relatively the same player that he makes a little bit better playmaking now, but I still think I don't know. I need to
You don't
see him
think
in the
he's better,
playoffs.
Gail?
I think I mean, he can, like I feel like we've seen these flashes. I feel like I don't think Donovan Mitchell's doing anything that he hasn't done. He's just doing it a bit more efficiently. I don't think as a player he's really I feel like I see players take evolutions sometimes when we're talking about those real like deal superstars where it's like, wow, they made an incremental change from here to there. I feel like he was always kind of given the keys to that ship at Utah and was putting up great stats at a inefficient pace and now like a very inefficient pace. I just, is like their team comp just doesn't compel me. Like that between him and Darius Garland, their front court's very good, I think. But Evan Mobley and Jared Allen shore up what you need in a guard tandem like that. But I don't think that he's enough of a creator for a Mobley or an Allen to be as efficient offensively like Conley was to that system. Like Garland does play that role more, but
He has to.
I also think he's better as a legit scorer. If he's alone and has a better wing than Donovan Mitchell playing fake guard, I think Cleveland is better off. Like if you give Garland more touches to be the Trey Young type player that I think he could be, I'm not going to give him like full steps because I feel like he's more of a breakdown and create type of guy off of this jaw surgery. And you get someone that can defend next to him at a high level. I think you have something that's better off in Cleveland than trying to get off like a you get some, I get some type of offense because then you lose on, actual production in a game. And some guys get like, I feel like that's when we see those games that one of them is just like, well, okay, what did you do today? Like you just it's kind of like Boston where it's like you just let the other guy that's getting paid 300 mil do everything and then you just kind of chilled for the night. So it's like, I don't know. That's kind of my take on Cleveland. They're still very good, but playoff good. I got to see it. More data.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve, the connection you made between that Utah season as when they were first and this Cleveland team, I never thought about it, but that's true. Like that's exactly how I feel. You put my emotions into words, and that's eerily similar. Because like if I had to see Cleveland in a 7-game series and I'm Boston, I'm not scared. If I'm the Bucks, I'm not scared. I don't care what surge you guys went on during the regular season. Matchup for matchup, I don't feel like Cleveland puts fear in anybody because man, those top teams in the East, they're different breeds, you know? So while I do feel like Cleveland has made a step, I feel like they made a step when you match them up against teams middle of the pack, such as the Knicks or such as the Pacers. But when you get to the top dogs like Milwaukee, Boston, and a healthy Embiid in Philly, it's like, okay, now all right, now too much dip on your chip because that's not the case. So that
Yeah.
connection is that was a really great connection. I really do agree with that.
Yeah, and Gail, honestly, I didn't want to agree with you, but I get what you're saying. I do, and it's I didn't want to
Oh no,
I
as two guards that get shit done,
no, oh no,
it's a
literally,
tough.
and it's
Yeah,
but it's
but one of
in
them's
the
got to
league.
defend better.
Yeah, and but in the league, and it's I don't want to get off on this tangent because this is a completely different conversation. But the league at this point is all of well, we know it's about team comp and team makeup, and I don't know how many teams we've seen. That's why there's such a big question mark in Dallas because when you are a backcourt like led team, it's
And I
just
think it's
tough.
different in Dallas too because Luca can at least his size matches up differently, and I feel like
Yeah,
that's the difference. Where it's like you need
and
someone that can guard multiple positions. If you're gonna have a two guard front,
well,
that might you can't rely on the offense always beating the defense. It's gonna be who's gonna grab more boards, who's gonna do a bit more of the intangibles than the other.
but you got to think Luca could average a triple double if he wanted to. So this isn't just Luca putting up points. Like he's giving you 30, but he's gonna get you between 7 and 9 rebounds, and he's bound to get you 10 assists if people making their shots. Right.
Yeah,
So it is a little different. But like with Cleveland, it's and that, both of y'all actually made great points, but they just don't instill fear. And I don't know if that's just because Donovan Mitchell is not that guy. He's a guy. He's one
Mm-hmm.
of the guys in the league, but he's not in that upper echelon of that guy. And since he is your
yeah,
leader, as great as he is, as electrifying as he can be, like you said, when we get in the playoffs, we grinding down, we're studying, like it's you're the focal point of the 7 game series. I know he's gotten that before, but I'd have to see a leap from Garland before I could really make any true assessment. I'd have to see if the players around him. I don't really question Donovan Mitchell, right? But him alone is not winning you a series,
yeah.
especially when it comes to those top dogs in the East. So it's it's tough. I think the seeding will be interesting, and I think that if they end up being 2 or 3, which I don't see them falling out of that for real. But they'll probably get a favorable first round matchup. But I think that's it. I think they maybe get out the first round this year because they might mess around and pull a Indiana or Orlando. Or they might, I don't who knows where Miami's gonna end up at by the end of the season. Who knows? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But like if they pull a Orlando or Indiana, I think that they win that series. But if they get New York, if
I
they
know, I know, I
somehow
know.
if they somehow some way get Miami and they're healthy, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I don't want to disrespect what they're doing and I don't want to write them off. But like you said, Gail, we just haven't seen enough. We haven't seen them prove enough for me to feel like they can make a deep run this year.
Yeah, and if they draw the Knicks, I think it's a wrap. I think they've seen enough of them, and the Knicks got better.
Right.
So
Where Cleveland did not. So
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. So staying in the East, another surging team. You guys are gonna be happy to talk about this. The Milwaukee Bucks after
oh
the All
man,
Star break playing
Dark
some good
River.
basketball. Like so, is it Doc?
Shouts no,
Is it
but
Doc? Who is it? Who
Partially,
is
it's
it?
partially Doc. It's partially Doc. I won't resolve him a full credit, but
I think I got my swagger back. Oh, Dame Lillard got hit up by Glorilla at All Star Weekend, and now we are popping. Now we're tough. He's almost been averaging a trip dub since All Star break. He put up like 7 and 9 in the last like 3 games.
yeah, no, that's crazy. That's been crazy.
So
You
yeah,
think it's Gorilla?
no, I
Yeah,
don't.
go.
I don't think so, but I hope so
Urban on Urban.
because he said he's lonely in Milwaukee. We need to. everybody spam Dame Lillard's DMs. Be like, yo, Glorilla, the picture. She said,
Don't.
I want him. She said, I want him. Who it is? And we
Don't.
need to. Why don't we connect these two?
We're not
Right?
condoning that.
They're gonna have a fire. Dame will have a first like Billboard hit. This will be what turns him up. This is gonna be what turns him up. Like, tell me I'm wrong.
You're
Like,
sick. You're
what?
sick.
Yeah.
No, man, no disrespect by that, because I'm just saying like that. You know, she's got chart toppers, so now people will really hear Dame Dollar for what he is. I'm not talking. No, there's no hate. I'm telling you, I'm talking straight business. I'm reading articles.
Anyway, on the basketball side of things,
That is.
Yeah.
This
Are the Bucks turning a healthy corner?
I believe so. I definitely believe so. We can talk all we want about Doc and his shortcomings or failures as a coach, right? But I think he's always had player buy-in, and I think players do respect him. And I think that was one of the big issues with the team and with Adrian Griffin. So I can't make it seem like the Bucks not respecting Doc and players responding to Doc doesn't play a role, right? But I do think Dame has started to turn a corner. I think obviously it's still a process, but I think Dame is, more and more just getting comfortable in finding his role. I mean, there's been countless articles and interviews about it. There's been a little bit more insight with me, at least watching the Pat Bear podcast since the trade. And I think kind of KD said it best. I think he came out today or like yesterday and said something, but not only was Dame, traded, right? Not only is he playing with another superstar, he's on a legit contender. The expectations from jump are a championship. So, and he's coming in and he's not just being given the keys to a new team. Like, he has to find his footing. And as much as Giannis may, and rightfully so, be saying, hey, this is Dame's team, Dame has to adjust to that. And Dame has to figure out what that means for him. I think we're starting to see that comfort level with him and between those two come together. And this is a very short sample size, right? Like, 4 games, did beat Minnesota, right? Did beat the Embiid-less Sixers, right? Belt to ass with them. But and the Hornets are the Hornets. But we do have a very, tough remaining schedule. But I think this is what all Bucks fans have kind of been silently hoping for. So, I mean, some louder, but Bucks fans have been hoping that by the time we hit this stretch of the season, it just happens to be tough. But heading into the playoffs, find our stride, see how we really, compare to the league's best. And so definitely a healthy corner. I think that Giannis will respond to Dame, right? So the numbers have already been there, but at the better Dame gets, the better Giannis overall, not just number-wise, but in terms of his role on the team, like the better he'll get as well. And when that synergy really starts to reach a point, I think the team's synergy will reach a point. But definitely a healthy corner, for sure.
We're making cuts. We are playing a different brand of basketball. Like, shouts out Awful Coaching on YouTube. I watched a video. I was very scared. I'll link it to you too. Just this guy just absolutely screaming at our lack of actual like follow through on plays, like not following through on cuts. Guys with awful spacing on the court, really not giving Giannis any space to breathe. That Miami Heat game really bring up clips from that where it's just like we are not making it easy for our guys to actually score. And I would say, in a small sample size, like you said, we are starting to do those things that he was nitpicking at. Like, I've seen guys actually cut. I've seen in the last 4 games more cuts into the paint and outside touches from that, or the actual dunk down layup that we have forgotten to do for some reason. I've seen that more often now in these last couple, and like guys seem to be, on one accord defensively. So I don't know. We got to see when we get to those really good teams towards April. It's really like how well we play going into the playoffs. So this is cool now, but let's really keep this rolling. If we can get to a Cleveland Cavaliers 10-game win streak, if we can, make that happen against good teams, I think now we actually have something that is worth value. And then a healthy Chris coming back into the picture of, just kind of how the Cavs are doing it without some of their best. I think that only makes us, a more formidable opponent in the East. So, let's really see when Chris comes back now. But that's going to be an important piece in all of this.
Our schedule is so tough. Oh my God.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, like Steve, I know you hit your panic button, but I never truly panicked when it came to Milwaukee. Um, I don't know if it's because of the faith I have in Giannis and Dame, but I can't say that I'm shocked by what's going on right now for the team, and it could have to do with the record and the cupcake Charlotte Hornets or whatever. But it's not a shock to me. I think, come playoff time, they'll definitely have it together. And I think part of it is the coaching. You have to give Doc his credit where credit's due. But like y'all said, I think the upcoming schedule, it is tough, as you were about to say, Steve. So I'll let you continue with that.
No, yeah, not too much on it, but it's like we have the Clippers twice. We have a really tough.
Fake tough. We're gonna. Yep, let's get it. I'm ready for
Say
that.
man,
We'll
listen.
get into the Clippers. I
Yeah,
got
Oh,
more to say.
OKC, we got
Yeah,
OKC a couple
OKC
times.
twice.
I'm ready
Yeah.
for those.
I
I'm
think
trying to
we
get courtside tickets.
we got Phoenix again. I don't know if we got Minnesota again. I know we got Philly
No,
again.
we played them twice. We played Minnesota twice.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
The Lakers,
so
the Lakers twice.
the Lakers twice,
Yep.
and it's more so stretches. Like it's more so the stretches we have some of the games in. There aren't too many stretches where we have like we don't got no more back to back with the Hornets. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't got too many more back to backs with like the lower teams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that part of it is not concerning, at least with the way we're looking now. And I definitely understand that. Actually, I understood why certain Bucks fans didn't hit the panic button. This was never a guarantee to me. Not
Yeah.
because they aren't capable, but because so many things can happen to where you just don't want to bank on, oh, we'll figure it out after All-Star. So that's more so like where my panic was like, all right, this feels like the last chance to turn this corner. Because if it don't happen by mid-March, it's looking pretty bleak. But I'm happy to see that clearly we have figured some things out. I think Dame and Giannis both have a fire. I think that this is what the Pat Bev trade was for.
Damn, you said,
It's locker room. It's all locker room. And I think that he's the glue that we didn't have before, to be completely honest. That's the role I see. Like Bobby is great, right? But and as much as Bobby is vocal, I don't think he's just the guy that gets into everybody. Bobby is Bobby, right?
Pat's gonna call out bullshit
on everybody. And that, but we have players that can respond to that. Giannis gonna respond to that. He's a dog. Dame, they fix what they need to fix. He's gonna respond to that. He's a dog. So with the team, it's like I think Gail, I think you said it, or I think another friend did. He's PJ. That's what PJ.
You need an agitator. Every team needs
an agitator.
So every great team has one. Bruce Bowen was that for the Spurs. You have Shane Battier for the Heat. You got PJ for our run. I mean, LA had Meta. The other LA had Dwight Howard. In other ways. Rajon Rondo's really the agitator. What? Don't look at me like that. But no, yeah, like every team, yeah, Rajon Rondo's agitator. I mean, KG, they had a bunch of crazy people in the locker room. Ray Allen don't get me started. Anyways, yeah, every team needs a guy like that. So maybe we have our spark now. We kind of poached him from. He saw that. I think he probably knew that Embiid probably was going to come back by playoffs. He's like, I'm getting my ring this year. I've team hopped enough. What's the closest spot? Who needs me? And I think we did need him. So, yeah, a player coach, because a coach can only scream so much. Adrian Griffin could probably only scream so much until the guys were tuned out. So now you need a guy that's on the court with you to be like,
Doc don't have a voice to yell. So
guys. There's no way. There's no way they're hearing that in a packed NBA crowd. You need Pat Bev barking at you from 5 feet away. Like, why didn't you close out there? Why didn't you help my helper? Like, like he's probably it's a lot easier to do when you're out there. So, that's imaginary.
Yeah, no, I could see Doc even, calling for a Pat Bev to join him in Milwaukee. So For reasons like that. Pat Bev, although he isn't the best player on the court, he's definitely an extension of the coaches, in my opinion. I think, and that's where he excels. But going to the West, and this is a team where I did hit my panic button, and I'm still smashing my panic button after what happened. And we'll get into
Yes.
that.
No. Yes.
We
Yeah.
will get into that. The Los Angeles Clippers and the disappointment that probably is going to await in terms of how early they're going to exit the playoffs. What does a healthy Clippers team look like? And does it look like the ceiling is losing after having a 20-point lead in your
Hey,
last home game against the Los Angeles Lakers and
Yeah.
letting a man in
Yeah.
his 21st year in the season drop 19 in the fourth
All right.
quarter
So
to mount a comeback and win by what, 4 or 5 points?
let me match your energy. Let me match your energy. Let me ride this wave. Um, as a avid Clippers, I'm not a Clippers hater. Go back in the tape. I was a fan of those. I swore they were gonna get out with the championship. CP3, Blake, DeAndre, Jamal Crawford, all deserve rings. All deserve rings. God bless their souls. They've done so much for the NBA. This Clippers team I've had no faith in, and I think this loss is a signifier of what's to come. And this is also salty because they have an all-star bid for a fake stadium that's not even finished yet. When we in 2027, they're going to Phoenix, Arizona. Adam Silver, we got beef.
we're not a big enough market, Miguel. We're
I
just
don't need to hear it. We've gentrified enough, Adam Silver. We've
Walk
gentrified
is
enough. We don't need
full.
to gentrify more and make 18 more hotels for you to put your. Oh my! No, I will give you the downtown life. Like we need to get more than silk. But I digress. And all right, let me rewind. All right, beef with the NBA. All Star bid should have been Milwaukee. We built an actual stadium. They're giving it to people that haven't even finished theirs in Southern California. Like the next three are literally Southern California, Arizona, the California of Arizona or Phoenix. Anyways, yes, the Clippers I don't think are compelling at all either. I think age will I think be a factor. Healthy Kawhi in the playoffs and Paul George, they always evade us. Uh, James Harden is who he is in the playoffs, and now Russell Westbrook as well. I don't think it. The recipe is not compelling. It's very unstable. They've always been tumultuous getting to this point. Kawhi is the only stable factor, but that comes down to health. But Paul, playoff P. Oh no, podcast P. Uh, I don't know. I am not. Yeah, that's the panic button is being pressed.
Does playoff P
I
still
still think,
exist?
huh?
Does
But
playoff P still exist?
yeah, playoff P is a bad thing. So I mean, up until he has a good thing happen, I think playoff P is still there. But to put it into more calm words, I don't think that they are going to survive this West. Like it's too tough. It's too much of an unknown. And Dallas has their number. And I think, yeah, recency bias. If you're not beating the guys that you're supposed to beat in your own hometown, you're getting punked back at home, and you got like a team full of LA boys, and you're getting, a fake messiah in LeBron James in LA who they didn't really want to accept him, but he got a ring for them. So, yep, you're a part of the team now, Bron. Uh, I think he's a real one, but they and LA fans, we can read receipts. They didn't want him there. Uh, yeah, I don't know. You shouldn't be getting beat by them when you have a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter and a 40-year-old man is torching you, and you got your personal trainer putting IG beef out there, being like, "Yeah, get out there, K2. You're about to cook this old man." And now, if you all don't know what I'm talking about, Kawhi Leonard's trainer went to Instagram, famously, and was like, "Oh yeah, like someone was running away from the grind." This was a couple years back, saying that LeBron didn't want to guard Kawhi, and LeBron has showed year after year. This is 2 years later now that he's still cooking him. Like LeBron, no one is cooking Bron. People will have moments on LeBron, but no one's going to cook him. And he showed whose home it still was. So if you're getting beat by the Lakers right now when you have a 20-point lead, that's concerning. Calmer words.
Better
yeah.
than me. Better than me.
Yeah, I don't know what happened last night when
Oof.
what is it, Wednesday night in crypto arena.
Mm, mm.
Um Watching that live was actually insane because I'm sitting here like, man, this game might as well turn this off. Ain't no point in watching the fourth quarter. Wait a minute.
Mm,
Is
I
that
literally
vintage
did turn it
Bron?
off.
Is
mm,
that vintage Bron I see?
mm, mm.
Knocking down threes?
I got to go back and watch it. I literally
You the
switched it off.
dramatics, I was all for the dramatics. Y'all know Bron is a
It was
drama
juicy.
king. I
It
was
was.
for it. I was like, oh, I was like, Bron, talk your talk, man. Let them know. Kawhi definitely dug the smoke. I watched the whole fourth quarter. The man switched off every single time.
Mm.
Let Harden guard him. Let Tice guard him. Terrible. But outside of them blowing that lead and them being the Clippers, this is what makes the Clippers so frustrating, right? Because the superstars work, right? The balance that the superstars have, ideally, in an ideal world, it works. Russ is your sixth man, Harden is your point guard, PG and Kawhi are your scorers. It works, ideally, right? They just aren't consistent. And I think even though it's been really nice seeing a healthy Kawhi this year, and I think a healthy Kawhi does make a difference, same for PG, I do agree that we just have not been able to see those two players healthy in the playoffs for whatever reason since the bubble. But even if they are, it just doesn't feel like this team is consistent enough to get over this hump. Like they haven't reached a conference finals. No, wait, I think they reached one, right? They reached one conference finals. I don't know. I don't know. Like if the game against the Lakers is indicative of what will happen when they play the better teams in the league, then they're not making it out the first round because Phoenix might have their number if that's the matchup that they pull. So I think it comes down to matchups with them in the West too. There's a couple teams that I'll probably take the Clippers over, but to be completely honest with you,
I don't.
I think Minnesota get them. I
Yep.
think OKC will get them.
Yep.
Denver definitely get them.
Yep. LA
Phoenix
will
will
get
probably
them.
Phoenix will probably get them. I don't know about LA getting them in 7 games.
I.
Kind of depends.
They
But
just got little bro. They just got their money snatched
they did.
live on TV. They said, "Here, let me hold that. Let me hold that 20, big bro.
Look,
Hold that
I
20. Hey,
I
those
say
what's the shoes you wear?
Hands
They-
out, cash up, proud. Basically.
crying. I say this to say I do think the ceiling for a healthy Clippers team could be the conference finals. It could be, right? But getting there just seems like such a huge what if. Like there's so many things that would have to go right for that to happen. It feels like that you just can't put any money on it. But
You're
the
saying the
idea,
ceiling this season? The ceiling this season is the conference finals? Is that what you're saying?
healthy, it could be. I'm not promising anything. I'm not saying that that's what is going to happen. It
Hmm.
could be. That's how what they look like at their best is really, really scary. But can they do that for 48 minutes, let alone 7 game series, let alone multiple 7 game series, to get to the conference finals alone? We aren't even talking about Chip, even though people got them in Boston in the finals, which is crazy to me. But
Those are people that watch fake NBA. Those are people that watch stats. I
Yeah.
swear. Who has Clippers Celtics? That's a bot take.
a lot of people,
God.
I know. I'm
Seen
sorry.
I've
That
seen a
that
few
is
analysts. I've seen a few analysts say this.
that they're like, yeah, I caught the last 5 minutes of this, and I thought it was great. I thought they looked phenomenal. Like I no.
Switching gears to our final topic. Lefties. There's not a lot of us. I'm a left-handed person. I take pride in this conversation. Yeah, fun fact. I take pride in this conversation. Who are the top left-handed players in the league?
Mr.
Are we doing top
Dominatus
five?
Sabonis.
We're doing top five.
Are we doing in order, or are we just doing general top five?
We can do a general top five, and maybe after we throw out some general players, we can put them in order to make it a little bit juicy. You know, I'm always here for the drama. So.
Uh De'Aaron Fox, just off the top of my head, Jalen Brunson, Harden.
Still,
He's probably top 5. It's not that many lefties. That's
Yeah,
why.
of all time, DeAndre Jordan is in that league.
Oh my God. Not of all time, currently in the league.
Yeah, I mean of all time in the league. That's what. Okay, so currently at their skill level. Okay, Sabonis got to be in there.
yeah.
Sabonis in there. Uh
You got Julius Randle. You got Zion. You got
Zion's a lefty. Didn't know that.
Zion is a
is a
lefty.
lefty.
That
Never.
man, you
He
just don't
don't
really.
shoot. He doesn't
Yeah,
shoot for real.
never tripped off that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Uh, mm, I mean, we could throw some other names out there. There's some other lefties, but I don't
If
think
we
any of them are
want
better
to
than the
go,
names we said.
yeah,
tough. Yeah, Harden is definitely one where it's like he probably ekes it. Conley's lefty.
yeah,
Conley
he
is a
is a
lefty.
lefty. Yep.
So Shay's ambidextrous, which I did not realize until
So
today.
is LeBron. So is LeBron.
Is LeBron
Signing
really
autographs with
ambidextrous?
your right, signing autographs with your left hand and shooting with your right is
He's
not.
the ultimate capper. But hey now, he said it. I believe it. He's dunked with his left hand.
I honestly, I think those 5 we named might be the 5 to try to rank though, because I think Miles Bridges is a lefty. RJ Barrett is a lefty.
RJ Barrett. Yep. Luke Kennard.
No, you're not in my combo, Luke. Sorry.
I'm just throwing it in there.
That might be
Early answer Cooper Flag next year.
he's
You might
lefty.
lefty.
Oh, we're gonna be talking
I
about
believe, right?
Cooper Flag is not lefty. Not from the highlights I've seen.
Mm.
Is he one of the ambidextrous people?
I could be wrong. Let me do my research.
But
Let me do my research.
but
Y'all.
you know,
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just gone off on a tangent, but I feel like, like a Cooper Flag versus Chet Holmgren, that's gonna get juicy.
oh, absolutely.
It's gonna get juicy.
Cooper coming for smoke whenever
Oh
he
yeah.
get
Right.
it.
I'm wrong. He was mixed up in a different article.
Mm.
Yeah, no, Cooper Flag is coming for smoke whenever he get here.
D'Angelo Russell.
D'Lo
D'Lo.
is
Oh.
left.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, Shea is ambidextrous. Yeah. Brunson's got to be in that top 5 though for sure.
Shea shoots right.
Kelly Oubre Jr., Joe Ingles,
Shea shoots
Marvin
right, so
Bagley.
yeah, Shea shoots right, so it doesn't count.
No, yeah, not at all. Cameron Payne, James White.
So
Kent Bazemore got re-signed somewhere.
okay, Fox, Brunson, Sabonis,
Yep.
James Harden,
James Harden.
Julius Randle.
Am I taking D'Lo over
Zion.
Julius?
I'm gonna take an unhealthy Zion. I'm gonna take a big Zion over them.
Over both D'Lo and Julius.
It's kind of
Both
hard not
auxiliary
to.
players. Yeah, I gotta take Zion. Just in terms of dominance, like I'm not taking Julius Randle.
I'm
Oh.
definitely.
Zion can dunk the ball 10 times a game.
I didn't want to put him in the 5. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
Y'all
He's an all-star. He's an all-star, but if Zion was healthy, he would be one too. He'd walk into an all-star bid.
Yeah. Okay.
I would have a lot more respect for Julius Randle if I didn't feel like he's a regular season star.
Mm.
I feel like that takes away from
And James Harden.
Not how good he is. Harden's just more prolific though.
I feel like he's getting the here you go, old head. Here you go.
If we rank him, he'd be 5. You can't honestly, if we get
he's
to
5. He's 5.
Yeah. If we get to ranking them, you can't tell me. I don't know if I'm taking D'Lo over Harden. Still, I ain't saying it's far, but I'm not taking them. Not taking Randle over Harden. So he got. I'm not. I don't. Would I take Conley over Harden? Not from a skill standpoint, but
in terms of for my team, I'm taking Conley over Harden.
Yes.
I'm taking
Luke Kennard
specifically, because that's my team. It sounds blasphemous, but give me Luke Kennard over that man.
So I think that's the 5 though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. And if we're ranking them,
Personally, I'm a Jalen Brunson fan. I'd say Sabonis is probably 1. Jalen Brunson 2. De'Aaron Fox 3.
You talk about just best player in general? That's
Right
left.
now, right now. Yeah, like
right now, best left-handed player in the league is DeMontis Sabonis.
Yes. Right now, might have to be.
Okay. And then JB's got to be 2, and then De'Aaron's got to be that 3.
They're like, yeah. Honestly, Brunson and Fox are like 2A and 2B. They're like 2B right now.
Dominance when Zion plays. I mean, seeing his stats, he's putting up solid numbers on good efficiency. He's just he's still on some restriction or something like that. But I'd put him 4, and then I put Harden 5.
Okay, not mad at it.
I'm not mad at it either.
Yeah.
Let's get some more lefties in the league, man. Jeez.
I know what happened.
Genetics.
I'm a reclass. I'm a reclass as a lefty. I'm gonna bring real shooters back.
No, great episode. Love the GOAT talk. I'm still not over that conversation.
That was really good. That was a good one.
Really good. That was a really good conversation.
It will come up again, I'm sure.
Steve said he was gonna ask me something that I had a bad take on.
It was the left-handed players. I thought you were gonna wing it and have some bad takes.
Oh no.
You're on a crazy hot streak, Gail. I must give it to you. You're on a crazy hot streak.
I threw in DeAndre Jordan just to scare people, but we're here. Hot take. Yo, shouts out Aaron Akers for gassing me up. It's the only reason I got good takes. Shouts out head coach, big head coach, Sussex Hamilton, Aaron Akers. Shouts out getting dubs in the playoffs. It's good. They gave you a bogus pull with Kimberly, send you out an hour and a half. We're gonna have no fans. That we know what to do next year.
What a way.
Yep.
Today's episode. No, seriously, great conversations. I think, listeners, viewers, y'all will enjoy what we've had to say. But as Steve says, until next time, peace.